Hi friends, welcome to Adda 24/7. Today's topic of discussion is Module E, Central Banking. We are in discussion of central banking portion basically and the important points of that. So today's topic is Module E, Regulation, Supervision and Financial Stability. Okay, you might be able to see this. Are you able to see this? Okay, type yes in the comment section. Everyone, just type yes in the comment section if you are able to see this. Okay, chalo, let's start. See this, up till now we have discussed module A, B, C, D. 4 modules we have discussed. So today we'll be discussing E and next Thursday we'll be discussing F and then we'll be starting with the portion again. Okay, so regulation, supervision and financial stability. Now here the basic purpose of this topic is what are the regulations under central bank. Now central bank regulations mean these are applicable to now not only the banks but also to NBFCs and the e-lenders as well. So that's why these regulations constitute for all the parties. Okay, so evolution of regulation and supervision means how did these regulations evolve. Evolve means what was the basic purpose, why the regulation should be there actually, isn't it? So genesis and evolution of regulation and supervision means what? What is genesis means what? What is the starting point? For what? Because of what this regulation started. So genesis and evolution of regulation and supervision means what? Before RBI also these banks were there. RBI came in 1934. Before that almost 50-60 years banks were there. So why was RBI put in place? Because to put the regulations so that the banks can work in a proper tandem manner. Okay, so genesis and evolution of regulation and supervision. Some theoretical underspinning. Theoretical underspinnings means some theoretical parts means what are the nitty-gritties we call this. This is again called as nitty-gritties. Then global backdrop means what are the other points means other things in the world. Then interactions of the monetary policy and regulatory and supervisory policy means what? What do you mean by interactions? Interaction means where these monetary policy and the supervisory policy, where do they have a conflict with each other? This is very important because here supervisory policy will always try to supervise the banks and bring down the risk. Monetary policy always try to maintain the stability. Okay, inflation. So that's why interactions of monetary and regulatory and supervisory policies. Integration versus separation of money. So integration versus separation means how to separate the money from the common public or in the system. Regulatory and supervisory functions. Recent perspectives means what are the recent changes in the regulatory functions of RBI. Okay, means you might be seeing all these frauds which have happened in the banking system in last 5-10 years. Okay, so what are the recent perspectives? How has RBI tightened its regulations after this? By this word genesis means basically the starting point. How did it originate? Okay, that's basically genesis. Okay, yeah. So next is genesis. One sec. Genesis of banking regulation and supervision in India. Then conduct of monetary policy, compatibility with the regulatory and supervisory policy means how, again interaction as we had it above. Similarly, conduct of monetary policy and compatibility means how this monetary policy and the supervisory policy should work in tandem with each other. And then the Indian perspective means basically Indian perspective of this only. How does RBI manage the monetary policy and supervisory function? Both. Then next part is development, regulation and supervision and recent performance of the scheduled commercial bank. Now this is very important. Recent performance means if you have seen recently, almost all the scheduled commercial banks, basically nationalized banks I'll talk of presently, all of these banks have geared up. Geared up means to fight with this, have a competition, healthy competition with these private and the foreign banks. Okay, so evolution and development of the commercial banks via initial years 1950 to 69 means it's a history part basically. Strengthening and consolidation of the commercial banks means how did the banks consolidate? Now consolidation means what? There were mergers, acquisitions, Recently there have been major mergers and acquisitions, isn't it? Earlier they were not there that much. So that history is again there. Rapid strides in the development of the banking sector means what are the rapid changes which have happened in the banking sector following the financial performance process ushered in 1990s. Means what? It's again a very lengthy topic. Means in 1991 we opened up that economy, right? Because of that, what was the development which happened in the banking system? Okay, totally theoretical topic. Okay, but we will make it interesting. That's why I say join the classes. Okay, join the classes for all the CAIIB and JIB. Basically CAIIB you should definitely join. Okay, we are covering this elective also over there. Okay, prudential requirements for the bank supervision means what are the major guidelines. Prudential means what? Mainly remember, whenever you get this word prudential, you must always remember Narsimham Committee in 1992 and 1998. Prudential norms were given by that committee. Okay. Then submission of returns and on liquidity risk means what are the various submissions to be done. Okay. On liquidity risk, interest rate risk and the currency risk. What are the various submissions to be done by the banks to RBI? Risk management in banks, regulatory policies of scheduled commercial banks, supervision of scheduled commercial banks and recent operations means what? See this. These two topics can be combined actually. Regulatory policy of SCBs, scheduled commercial banks means it includes all the banks, right? And then supervision of scheduled commercial banks, all the nationalized private banks mainly, okay? Recent operations and performance of the scheduled commercial banks. So what are the recent changes in the scheduled commercial bank? Now this will include nationalized banks as well as private banks and foreign banks as well, because foreign banks have been told to form the WAS. Okay, and under the WAS they are operating in India now, means more than 20 branches. Okay, then we have development, regulation and supervision of cooperative banks. That's a separate topic. Okay, cooperative banks have also grown hugely. Remember, cooperative banks are not the same as they were earlier. Some cooperative banks are bigger than the many of the private banks. Okay, so development, regulation and supervision of the cooperative banks, growth of the cooperative banking sector, regulatory framework of the cooperatives. Here, growth of the cooperative banking sector, mainly cooperative sector grows in those areas where nationalized banks can't reach. Okay, and they cater to that area or that profile of the customers where nationalized banks can't cater to. Regulatory framework of the cooperatives means here always remember cooperative department works under two basic lines. Okay, first line is the state cooperative department and then it's RBI, and now we have a central cooperative department. So now there are three basically working areas or working lines for the cooperative banks. Duality of control means that's a basic thing which I told you. Duality means what? There are 2 points always, two bosses to central bank to cooperative bank. Now there are 3 bosses, not 2. Okay, so strengthening of financial position of the urban cooperative banks means how the financial position can be strengthened, means this will come to amalgamation, mergers, everything. Okay, strengthening of supervisory systems related to UCBs means supervisory means how the supervisory control can be exercised on these banks. Then urban cooperative banks, recent developments means what are the recent developments in the urban cooperative banks. Okay, then recent developments, implementation status of the goals means what is the status, where have these banks reached, whether they have achieved their goals which were there for the development or no. So that's what RBI does it regularly. Regular monitoring is done by RBI via 2 ways. We have done this, we are taking this in our class. Okay, so monitoring is done via 2 ways, off-site and on-site. Very important terms. Okay, strengthening regulatory framework and major development. So what are the major developments, what are the regulatory frameworks, everything. It's theory topic complete. Okay, then we have financial stability. Financial stability means global economic crisis and its implications on the central banks. Financial stability means what? See this, even in present situation, if you see October to December 22, all the banks in the world, all the countries were facing trouble due to this Russia-Ukraine war, but India was strong. The inflation in India didn't hit much. Okay, why? Because of the financial stability, the robustness of our RBI. An overview, risk to the financial stability, early warning signals and remedial action. This is very important. If we look at early warning signals, then we can definitely see to it that we don't fall in trouble. Okay. Liquid management in banks. How liquidity management? How the liquidity is managed in the banks means there are various ways of managing the liquidity. There are we call it insurance also. Insurance means CDS we call it. Credit default swaps. These are used in the banks to manage the liquidity, to release our capital. Okay, so that is liquidity management system 1. There are many as such. CBO, CLN, various things are there. Okay, all these terms are there basically in your central banking portion. The Basel norms of banking supervision means Basel norms are the base of any banking supervision now. No bank can function in the world without Basel norms. Okay. Progress in implementation of Basel 2 norms, progress in implementation of Basel 3 norms. Okay, this will be a repetition from your BFM. Okay, but you will have to study this. RBI's perspective on moving towards Basel 3 implementation means what is RBI's angle for moving towards Basel 3 implementation. Okay, effect of liberalization and globalization on financial stability. What was the effect after opening up of the economy? Remember, after opening up of the economy, we became a global village. Okay, global village means anything which affects the world or anything happens in any corner of the world, we get directly affected. Okay, so that's the basic thing. So effect of liberalization and globalization, and how can we stand in this global village now? So that is a point which RBI has to look at every time. Okay, and conduct of the monetary policy. Conduct means what? Where the monetary policy is lagging, where is it doing it? Is it doing properly? These all things are known as conduct. Whether the desired effects of the monetary policy are going to the masses, that's what is known as a conduct of the monetary policy. In context of liberalization and globalization, growing trend towards transparency. Now transparency is an important angle for all the banking. Okay, let me bring this above. Okay, yeah, transparency is an important angle to all the banks now. Transparency means what? Governance. Okay, we call it corporate governance. So transparency, every bank needs to be now show the transparency. Okay, cooperation and best practices in the globalized environment. So cooperation means all the banks now should cooperate with each other. Cooperate means what? Healthy competition. It's not that it's a submissive part. It's a healthy competition. Okay, best practices in the global environment. This is something important which every bank should follow, and RBI is also stressing on the same. All the banks should share the best practices, so that what happens? If any bank is lagging somewhere, they can use that best practice, right? Role of consultative approach and linkage to international financial stability. Consultative means here. Now role of consultative, important part over here. RBI is not just a hunter. Okay, it doesn't take just hunter in its hand and whip the banks. Okay, it's not that. It's a consultative approach. Means RBI consults the banks. What are their problems? Where are they lagging? So these all factors are considered. That's called as consultative approach. Linkage to international financial stability. Linkage to international financial stability means how is the financial system of India stable vis-a-vis the world problems? Okay, what are the international standards and codes? Means what are followed again it comes to the best practices part. Means what are internationally followed codes which prevent the banks from going down. Okay, role of supervisor under Basel 2 and Basel 3. Role of supervisor is very important under Basel 2 and Basel 3. Remember, Basel 2 and Basel 3 basically means there are three parts in Basel 2 and 3. Okay, first is this capital requirement, then SREP, supervisory review. So here comes the role of supervisor. SREP is an important factor in Basel. Okay, what does SREP do? SREP basically checks that the capitals maintained by the bank are enough, and that's what is the role of RBI to check. It's a part of auditor basically. Okay, so that was it about module E of central banking. Okay, now before going, I would suggest everyone, those who are watching on YouTube, remember, join the classes ASAP. Why am I stretching on the classes? Because look at this. Because go to Adda 24/7, I'll show you. Because the portion is new, all the new subjects are there, so you need to join the classes. So what are the classes? See this. Go to Adda 24/7, click on JIB and CIB. See this. You'll see the JIB, CIB Mahapack, CIB 23. Click on CIB 23. You'll see the batches. Okay. Click on the batch. Which one? First batch. Okay. Which latest batch is always shown over here on the first part. Click on this batch. You'll see the details of the batch. What are the details of the batch? See this. All the dates, the timings, what is the study material available, what is the study plan, then recorded videos are available 24/7. It means what? If you miss out on any class, you can definitely get back to the videos. Okay. Also, two-way interactive classes, ebooks are available. Now this is very important. Ebooks are available. So whatever, you need not go for anywhere reading here and there. Okay. Everything is available. Tests are available. Now look at the fees part. If you look at the fees part, see this. Fees is 23,999. Click on view offers. Put the code Y432. Never forget this code Y432. Okay. Click on apply. See this. Okay. Once you click on apply, you'll see this. The fees becomes 23,999. It reduces to 5,519. 77% off you are getting. Such a huge discount, and this is an investment for lifetime. Also, I would suggest go for the Mahapack, because in Mahapack what happens, if you look at the Mahapack, okay, see this, if you look at the Mahapack, see this, here you will be getting multiple batches in single fees. Okay, click on, go to JIB, CIB Mahapack, click on CIB ka Mahapack, okay, clicked. Now look at this. You see the details. See this. 15 plus batches are available for ABM, BFM, ABFM and BRBL. 15 plus batches. Then 15 plus full length mock tests are available. Then topic wise question ebooks are available. Now what all do you need? Everything is there, isn't it? Classes are there, recorded videos are there. Okay. Now importantly, the fees 35,996. Click on view offers. Put the code Y432. Always remember this code. Click on apply. Now look at this. 35,996 reduces to 8,279. Such is a huge discount you are getting. 77% off. And in this, you are getting what? 15 plus batches. Go for it immediately. Why? Because the portion has changed. New portion altogether. Okay. I'll be back with another session on next Thursday for module F. Okay. So till then, join the batches ASAP. Okay. Bye from my side.